and welcome to my vlog. This is episode 3 and you can call me Marie. Today I'm going to talk a bit about scrappy knitting. I love doing scrappy knitting and I especially love doing things like this. It's crazy, it's colorful, it's fun. When I'm if you know the sea glass tea, who was the thing I think 2 or 3 years ago, this is actually the same principle as that tea in some sorts, because the sea glass tea was kind of like then you knit it with one stitch in one color and then you knitted the next stitch in another color, and when you did a round you changed both colors, and I tried to do that but it didn't look very nice in the back where I changed colors each time. Then I tried, instead of changing the color exactly the same place each time, I stopped a bit before the color would change on the round I was working on, and then changed the color maybe 3-5 stitches before, and that way the color changed at a different point all the time. And it's actually kind of the same I'm doing here. I am knitting with the one strain of this very fine lace yarn. It's a 100% cotton yarn. I bought it at a fair where there was a married couple who had closed down they had a factory where they knitted clothes, industrial knitting, so that's why this thread is that thin. And then I hold it together with some plain ordinary 8/4 cotton yarn, the cheapest of what I could find. I've just been in my stash finding all of the cotton yarn that I have, and then I think, like, when I have to change the color, I look a bit back and say, I can't put this turquoise with a pink again because I did the same last time. I know that I have a tendency to put the same two colors together because I think they are beautiful together, so I have to challenge myself all the time. And also thinking, I've just done maybe 3 rounds of dark colors, then I need to have a lighter color. Maybe I've done 5 rows of something very bright like the pink and the turquoise, and the only thing I'm regretting is that I have a little bit of yellow back down here in this chaos that's down here, and I wish there were more yellow because I like yellow. I'm wearing my this is a t-shirt which doesn't have a recipe. I tried to write down what I did, but it's kind of like it's knitted on a needle 3 millimeters or something like that. So I knit it for a while and then I put it away, lost interest. Then I picked it up again, knitted a bit more, and well, you can the sleeves are a bit small, so, but yeah, it's knitted from bottom up. So yeah, it has a lot of you know, little tiny mistakes, but then it's mostly knitters who sees the mistakes or realizes that there is something that's not the way it's supposed to be. So, you know, I don't care. I've used it for years. It's getting a bit old. It's Linnea from I think the yarn, it's either Civic or it's Permin. I'm not sure. If you really want to know which kind of yarn I've used for this, I can find out, but I just can't remember it right now. So, yeah. Scrappy knitting. I think it's so fun. And I just did, you know, it's actually the same recipe as the dress I am wearing in the first episode. So it's just ordinary raglan with some short rows to shape the neck here in the front, and then when I'd made all the raglan increases, I split, and now I'm just working it around. And again, I have a lot of this dark blue lace thread, so I hope that I have enough to make a summer dress just like the one in episode 1, but in these colors instead. So it's going to be fun and colorful and just my style. I'm doing another kind of edges. I think I'm going to go with an I-cord instead of ordinary ribbing, so that because cotton, 100% cotton, has a tendency to grow a bit. So when you do like a really firm or tight neckline like an I-cord does, then it doesn't grow, because I don't like to be showing too much skin. So I have a lot of fun doing scrappy knitting. I think the reason that I like scrappy knitting is that it's kind of like, it's free for some sorts. The yarn was bought for something else. It's leftovers, so it's kind of like there are no rules. In Denmark we have a Danish designer who is very popular here in Denmark, called Lærke Bakker, and she is a very colorful designer who tries to tell us to let go and play a little. And I have her first book. I don't think she has made it in English. I only think it's Danish. It's just called strik, which means knit. And she does, knitting is really big here in Denmark. So she does like stand-up shows with another knitter called Christine Feldhaus, and they sit at the stage and do like a stand-up show, and people have a laugh. My husband actually said that he saw that they were coming to our favorite concert place. We don't go to enough concerts, but we try to go to concerts once in a while. This year I have bought tickets for 2 Danish acts, one here in summer, I think it's in August, and then we are going to another concert in September, maybe October. And I also bought tickets for a Danish stand-up comedian. So we try to get out and have like, we don't do date nights, you know, on a regular basis. So when we do something, we might tend to do a little extra, like buying tickets or going to a show. And we also really like going to fancy restaurants, like gourmet cooking. There is some gourmet restaurants here in the area where we live, and we've also sometimes traveled a bit to go to a nice restaurant. Not a lot, but you know, when you do something once in a while, it kind of gets like special. So it's a bit like, you know, now I'm doing scrappy knitting and doing, you know, making a project out of. I gave 40 kroners for this, and I've already made one dress with this thread, and I think I gave what is like $10. I think 50-60 kroners I gave them, which is like $10 for this. So that's quite cheap here in Denmark. Yarn in Denmark is, it's all over the place. Like I made a reel where I talked about me and my husband having the conversation about yarn prices, because he went to me with me on a yarn fair. I don't remember if I told you that in an earlier episode. And he, you know, he looked at the prices, and all of the yarn at this fair, yarn fair, was hand-dyed luxury yarns, you could say. So, you know, they cost from around 140 kroners up to like maybe 425 kroners. I actually think is the most expensive yarn I've ever bought. That's, and 160 kroners, that's around what's that, $20 maybe, $30, something like that. And then 425 kroners must be like, you know, $80 maybe, something like that. I think it's easier to calculate prices in pounds, because a British pound is 10 kroners. An American dollar is, it varies the price of buying an American dollar in Denmark. At some point it was down to 5.5 kroners for $1, but I think at the current, right now, a dollar costs around 7.5 kroners. And I'm not particularly good at math. Actually, I did, like, you know, I have this classic podcast in Danish, and I was gifted one of these big, I think they are Japanese balls of yarn from, oh, I can't remember. But I was sitting on my Danish podcast, like now, yapping about this yarn and trying to figure out how much, because the ball of yarn that I was given was a 150 grams, maybe 200 grams ball of yarn. And I normally, you know, try to figure out what I can do with something thinking about the yardage of a 50-gram ball of yarn. So I tried to, you know, figure out how long this yarn would, what the yardage was on this yarn if it was a 50 grams skein. And actually one of my followers, viewers, users, in Danish we have a saying called kært barn har mange navne. A loved child has many names. So yes, one of the followers, she wrote, you know, if you take 480, I think it's a little like that, 480 and then divide it with 2, then you have 240, and then if you divide it with 2 again, then you have I don't know. I'm not good at math because I was so off with this, you know, math thing. So it was funny and maybe a bit embarrassing. So I'm not good at math. Often when I try to calculate something, if I have enough yarn for a particular project, if I try to, you know, do the math in my head, I often ask my husband, is this right? Because he's really good with math. He has always been the one helping children with their math homework, not me. Please do not force me to do math in public. It's no good. I'm not good at it. So yeah, but when you do scrappy knitting, I would say, you know, either you can do like a lot of my podcaster colleagues do. They plan, they do like, you know, like I want it in this particular way, then it's a good idea to take a picture of this is the way we're going to do it, and then do, you know, whatever. But every time I try to do that, you know, plan how to do scrappy knitting, I've always been like, ooh, but I could do it like this. Maybe if I did it like that. And that's kind of the process with me. I start something, have this plan, and then I, you know, go about my knitting, and then at some point, ooh, maybe if I did it like this. And, you know, things change. I have a lot of fun doing my knitting, and my knitting is my way of, you know, doing something for me at the same time as being a mom and being a wife and being a good co-worker, and it's my way of just doing something that's for me, because I think that it calms me so much, letting my creativity, you know, get a, you know, do something creative. And yeah, I'm not that good at sitting still, so that's why knitting helps me, you know, stay focused, not to go off on, you know, letting my thoughts drift in all way, you know, and all the worrying you can do when you have too much thinking time. So yeah, I have made a little video, you know, one of those fast forward videos, because I do knitting events also here locally. in Herning, which is a city here in Jylland where I live. And we are going at the 17th of November this year. We are going to do a knitting event where I am trying to get some prizes for this event, where we are going to play bingo. And I might tell you a little bit more about this event at the 17th of November in Herning. But right now I just want to show you this little video I made, me and my daughter playing with paper. And because I bought these two journals, knitting journals, where there was a prize sticker on the front page of both these knitting journals, and I wanted to try and peel it off. You can see in the video that the front page is damaged, and I didn't, I damaged it when I tried to peel off the price tag. And then I got the idea to wreck a old history book. My grandfather on my mother's side was big on history, so I inherited a lot of books from him, and I am doing like a decluttering of my home right now. I might also do an episode about that. And one of these history books then became materials for a new cover of the knitting journal. And take a look at the video which I'll put in here.
Mor, laver du så en ny video, når du laver bog nummer 2?
That little video with me and my daughter playing with paper and doing the journal. I am looking forward to this. Meeting up with other knitters is just so, it's so cozy. It's what we call in Danish hyggeligt, which was a phrase that went around the world. I don't know if it's a thing still, hygge, but it's very hyggeligt. And I'm looking forward to meeting all these knitters. There are some people that are beginning to be, regulars, which is really nice, seeing the same people. There are always new faces, and I love this community that we have, both digitally, like on YouTube and on Instagram, and I also love the face-to-face meetup. I think both opportunities gives me something personally. Yes, I think that was all I wanted to tell you today. Thank you for watching my vlog. I hope that you have a nice day for the rest of the day. I hope you'll be back for another video. Remember to subscribe, leave a comment, give me a like, and you can also find me on Instagram as Kokholmsk, just the same as this video is called. And you can always write me either here or on Instagram, and I will try to answer your questions as far as I can. So thank you for today, thank you for listening, and thank you for returning to my vlog.